Hello and welcome to Talk Ag to Me, the podcast dedicated to improving ag literacy around the globe. I'm your host, Brendan Black, and in today's episode, I interviewed Steve Smith, a representative from the company Ultravance, which was mostly in the business of consulting with drone manufacturing companies, but has recently announced that they are going to be unveiling their first ever drone that they have built. And it's called the Bulldog UAV, and it's this really cool drone that mostly focuses on helping out ranchers and farmers alike, and it's mostly just intended for, looking to make sure that gates are locked and that facilities are running, up to code and all that kind of thing, and just kind of, instead of spending a couple hours going around checking everything, can go down and do it for you. It can go look for certain cows if you can't find them in the herd. It can go make sure that your herds are all doing well in their pastures, and it's really efficient, and it just takes away a lot of the tedious tasks that ranchers have to deal with from time to time. And so it was really interesting to learn about drone technology and where this industry has come, because Steve's been in this industry for some time, and he gave some pretty good insight on what's going to be going on with drone technology and where we can see it going in the future. And so him and I had this discussion about the Bulldog that his company is unveiling at the World Ag Expo next week. And so I wanted to get some coverage. He reached out to me and said that he wanted me to do an episode on it and to get some information out on this, and just to help him promote it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get you guys aware of what's going to be going on, and I'll have the link in the description for what website you can go to actually find more information on the Bulldog and to just kind of see what is available to know about this thing. It sounds pretty interesting. And so I'll have the booth number and how to find them at the World Ag Expo, so you guys can go check them out. I'm going to be looking at them during the World Ag Expo, so when you watch my episodes on it next week, you'll be able to see the actual video of the Bulldog and the whole Ultravance company, and just kind of me talking to the people there and just kind of seeing what's going on. So make sure you guys check that out. I think it's a cool thing to be able to talk to these ag technology companies and just see what they have coming out and what their motivation is behind making these new technologies. So without further ado, I'll leave you guys with the episode and just kind of listen to the interview here, and I'll put all the stuff down in the description like I said. So thank you so much for watching, and here you go. All right, so here I have Steve Smith.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
So why don't you go ahead and, before we start our interview, just kind of explain who you are, what you do, kind of what your role is in this thing.
Okay, well, my name is Steve Smith. I am the owner of Ultravance Corporation, which for the last 5 years has been a consulting company for manufacturers and users of drones. And originally, the kind of work that I've done historically, which goes back far beyond the creation of Ultravance, has been with what we would have then called UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. So much larger aircraft. They can be 30 feet long. They can go Mach 0.9, so that's 9/10 the speed of sound. Wow. At sea level. Or they can be more commonly now we have something that we call Tier 2 aircraft, which are aircraft that basically two people can lift up and move around. So long story short, I've been working with many manufacturers and many end users around the world for years, and I've been in this type of business for the last 25 years. I have a manufacturing engineering degree, and so that's just a little bit about me, and our company now is transitioning into actually introducing our own product that we've created.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're going to actually get into that product here in just a little bit. So you said that you've worked with the whole drone manufacturing industry before. Would you mind talking a little bit about that, kind of what you've seen, the progression of drones? So you talked about the difference between UAVs and what we have today as drones. So you could kind of just, give a brief history as to what you've seen the development of this technology has been.
And from my standpoint, which is primarily from the business side, although I've certainly worked on a lot of technical requirements and technical solutions for UAV-related issues. One of the things that we can look at is that two main trends. One is to get a really robust, rugged UAV 10 years ago was frequently a seven-figure proposition. In other words, it costs $1 million to get a good rugged system and deploy it out in the field.
Wow.
Okay, or more. Then, about 2 years, within the last few years, that seven-figure number became a mid-six-figure number. So it might be $500,000 instead of $1 million or $2 million or multiple millions of dollars, right?
Right.
And along with that came more portable systems.
Okay.
So instead of it being a truck and a trailer and another truck and another trailer, it became something that a couple of guys, like I was talking about in the two-man lift, a Tier 2 system where two people can move every component around, but it still could take up a truck or two, right?
Right. Okay. Cool.
But
so
today, the stuff has become so small and light.
Yeah. No, it's
you're looking
insane.
at things that are, in the thousands of dollars now per system.
Right. Yeah. No, it's incredible how far things have come and how much they've changed. So you said that your company, Ultravance, is more along the lines of consulting with manufacturers and drone technology-based companies, but you're producing your own product for the first time, right? Is this the Bulldog that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we just, there's so many people out there and so many requirements, and for a lot of different reasons, I think the industry as a whole has been a little slow to adopt,
Okay.
And to adapt. Really.
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. So what can you tell us about this new Bulldog drone or UAV that you're marketing here that we're going to be able to see at the World Ag Expo?
Well, we like to think, it was designed specifically for ranchers. I kept, in my work with, just out in the world and in the larger world of UAVs, people kept asking me for, first of all, something they could afford, and secondly, something that they could use to, check to make sure that gates were closed when hunters went through them, look for stray cattle, look for cattle livestock that's, in jeopardy or somehow distressed. There's a whole host of things that people were asking for, where currently, without something like Bulldog, they've got to get in their four-wheeler, their ATV, their gator, they've got to get on a horse or walk or drive. And sometimes that, perimeter patrol, going around checking a fence line or whatever, can take hours and hours and hours.
Right. No,
and
exactly.
a lot of the people I was talking to and have been talking to don't have a lot of excess people around the ranch that they can, where they can spare two or three people, right?
Right.
So the idea is that for $5,000, you get a complete system, and when it's time, and the thing can be programmed so that it'll fly a particular route over and over and over. You can have multiple routes, or you can fly it, a combination of waypoint navigation, which is automated, or you can control it yourself in part, as well as it flying waypoint navigation. But the idea is, send Bulldog, it'll get there, at 50 miles an hour, it'll get there pretty quickly, wherever you want to send it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it'll go out and, run its course.
Awesome. So, yeah, now it's kind of interesting to hear about that. That's such a need right now for more of a kind of surveillance style drone. Just go look for things or to make sure that things are in check and that things are running at the level they should be. Because most of the time when we think of drone technology nowadays, most people think of it as like, the drones that will go by and they'll they can crop dust your field, or they can deliver something, or they can do all kinds of things, and they don't really think about the simple idea of maybe I just need a drone to go check on something once in a while, so I don't have to spend hours, like you were saying, going out and doing it myself, or I can't pay someone to do it.
That's right. That's right. Well, and you don't want to just have a single solution, right? One of the benefits of Bulldog is that it was designed to be versatile. So within 5 minutes, you can swap out one payload and put in another one. So let's say today you want to go find. You want to make sure the bull is in the right pasture, right? You want to make sure that animal is where he's supposed to be.
Right.
So you do that, let's say, in the morning. But in the afternoon, maybe you want to go out and do some aerial mapping. You want to take high-resolution images that you're going to stitch together into a large, what they call an orthomosaic, a large image, high definition. You take off the video camera, you snap on you install the high resolution, huge megapixel still camera, and off the drone goes again.
Okay, cool. So it's not just like a one size fits all camera kind of drone. It's it's more diverse in the capabilities that you can actually use it for. That's pretty interesting. So what's the I know you said it in your email, and I looked over it a little bit, but what's the size on this type of drone? Like, is it a pretty massive drone, like kind of like we're talking about, take up the size of a truck bed, or is it more of a kind of like a smaller drone like we would see in like a store?
Well, I carry everything when I go out to fly. I carry everything in the back of my van.
Okay.
The plane itself has a 6.5-foot wingspan, and the length of the fuselage is 42 inches. So it's 3.5-foot long fuselage length, and then the wingspan 6.5 feet. So what you do is you just turn the plane sideways and put the wings in longitudinally inside the van, right? And then, I supply plans for a very simple carriage that you can make for your, sheet of plywood and a couple of supports to hold the plane while it's in the back of the van, and then the whole arrangement, the carriage slides out so that you can easily take the plane, put it on the ground, and get it ready to fly.
Gotcha.
But normally everything fits in the back of the van.
Okay, yeah, so it's not like enormously big, but it's big enough to get the job done. I see. Cool. So is this a thing that you see Ultravance continuing to do, to produce their own technology, or was this kind of just like a one-time thing to try it out and see how it went?
I've been in this kind of business for so long. I hate to tell you, Brendan, the last 25 years doing this kind of work, that I have a pretty good feeling for, if people ask me enough for something, then I know there's a need, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact is that I think this plane, I think Bulldog well fits the requirement, the need that people have, and it's also flexible and versatile enough to grow with people over time. And as the technology changes, you just take the latest camera and put in on, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we'll be in this business for a good while. I see all sorts of possibilities. I see all sorts of gaps in what the marketplace, what industry is providing, and how much it's charging relative to what people want to spend and what they need. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for Ultravance.
Okay, awesome. I like to hear that, and I like your whole premise of you built it based off of what you've heard are the needs of the farmers and ranchers. I really like that idea, because that's something that, with tech companies, that's usually the thing they have in mind, right? Is to make something that people need, but it's not often that you actually hear the story of a product made because people have been asking for it for so long that somebody finally went, okay, I'm going to make this thing to help all these people. So I really like that premise of your guys' motivation to make this Bulldog and future drones and attachments to your current UAV. What would you say is the possibility, what's your prediction on when this thing might be available on the market, or is it already?
Well, this is our, for lack of a better word, grand unveiling.
Okay.
I'm not sure how grand the unveiling will be, but we've got a space and we've got the product, and we've had a lot of interest in it. So we'll see how what the response is. But this is it now. This product is available. We'll see how quickly the backlog grows as to how long it takes to actually, what the lead times will be. But right now, we're predicting 4 to 6 weeks. So if somebody tells me now that they want to see the system, or they want to use the system, or, whatever, then, figure between the time they put their deposit down and the time that the system arrives is somewhere between, 4 and 6 weeks.
Awesome. So if they were to, let's say they don't find your booth at the World Ag Expo, or they don't find a proper way to contact you, and this is their only experience with your company, how would they go about getting the ability to possibly place a down payment or try out this technology? Would they have to directly contact you, or is there a way to order on your website, or is there some other method of getting this thing in their hands?
Well, they can go to bulldog.ultravance.com bulldog.com. And Brendan, if you don't mind, I'll spell all of that.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Bulldog is just like the dog. B as in Baker, ULLD as in dog, OG, Bulldog at Ultravance, and that's just like the word ultra, ULTRA. Second part of the word, it's all one word, Ultravance, is Vance, just like Lance, only with a V as in Victor. So it's bulldog.ultravance.com. And if you go to that website, you can read all about it. You can contact us. You can reach out to me personally, by phone, by email, or just respond via the website, and then they can start the conversation that way. Just bulldog.ultravance.com.
Awesome. I'll be putting that website down in the description of this video, so if you guys want to check it out, then it'll be there for you as well.
Yeah.
So this, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys are going to have a full-on booth displaying this thing at the World Dog Expo, correct?
That's right. We're in Pavillion D as in dog.
Okay.
Pavillion D, and we're in booth 4208. 4208. Now, the plane that we're bringing, as you can imagine, there's a lot of interest from a lot of our competitors.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
Figure out how we've done this, because the range of the aircraft, its endurance equates to what its flight time is. But the plane is capable of an operational diameter of 12 miles. A lot of multicopters are, in the quarter-mile, half-mile range.
Okay.
So the Bulldog is capable of flying about 20 times farther away from the ground control station. And where a lot of multicopters, in this category, the low thousands of dollars, the multicopters are flying maybe 30 minutes,
Right.
Maybe 45 minutes at the outside, The Bulldog flies over 2 hours.
Wow.
And so it's basically, it'll fly 20 times farther and it'll fly 4 times longer.
That's incredible.
So there's a lot of interest in, how did it happen that Ultravance created this product? Well,
right.
So the aircraft that we're bringing uses many of the same components that we use in the actual aircraft that we will be demonstrating for people all over the Southwest.
Okay.
So people who are very interested, who are qualified potentially as being purchasers for the system, for some period of time after the show, we'll be taking Bulldog on the road, and then we can fly people's properties, and they can actually see, to the extent that we're able to, they'll be able to actually see the aircraft operate in their environment, on their property, and then judge for themselves whether or not it's going to be sufficient for what they need. But the plane we're bringing is the correct fuselage, correct wing set, correct motor, propeller, etc. But there's over 50 differences between the show plane that's going to be on a stand and the actual physical aircraft. It's the same size, same wingspan, same fuselage length, same what we call the plan form, which is the overall shape. But It's the model, the real aircraft we're not bringing.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That's also an interesting idea, bringing them the product to kind of get them to get a better look at it themselves, kind of a hands-on, test out. It's almost like a test driving a car at a dealership before you buy it kind of thing. I like that idea. It's very practical, and it's a little bit different than a lot of the new technologies coming out today. So I like that you guys are doing that. That's pretty interesting. So you're going to be in Pavillion D. What was that number one more time?
It's booth 4208. 4208.
4208. All right. So yeah, make sure you guys go over and check out their booth. I'll be over there sometime during the week getting some coverage on that while I'm walking around and try to get you guys a good image of the Bulldog UAV and just a lot of the information on as to what's going to be going on with that as well. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this one up? I think that's about all I had questions about.
No, I think that's it. I think the one thing I'd like to maybe just kind of promise that this is a system that we've worked on for years now to get it to this point. Longer than I really hoped that it was going to take us, but it did. And it's not vaporware. This is something where we routinely arrive wherever it is we're going to operate. We pull it out of the back of whatever vehicle we're using, and have it airborne within 20 minutes, sometimes 10. And wow. it just does its thing over and over and over and over. And maintenance and repairs are inexpensive and simple. So it's just, I'm really happy with how it's come together, and I hope other people like it as much as we do.
Yeah,
And
no,
thanks
that's
for
awesome.
Brendan. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. I'm really glad that you guys sent me your information. I was really glad to hear from you, and I'm really excited about this new technology. I think it's something that's going to really help out a lot of ranchers and farmers. And I'm also really glad you brought up the how long of a process it took for you guys to get this far. I think that's really important for people to understand that these things don't just happen overnight. I mean, it's a long road.
Well, yeah, and you hope that it's going to be, we'll knock this out in 3 months. We're experts in the UAV world, no problem. And then that 3 months becomes 6, becomes 9, becomes 18, and suddenly you're into it 2 years, and you're like, you're still nailing it down. But we believe we've nailed it down. We think it's a very robust, reliable system for $5,000. I don't think you can beat it. I know you can't beat it right now.
Right.
Someday maybe, but for now, man, I think this is it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that's pretty impressive. So, yeah, no, I think that just about sums it up. So, I mean, if you have anything else to add, don't let me cut you off. But if not, I think we're going to wrap it up here.
Sounds good, Brendan. Thanks again.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate you once again reaching out and just providing us all this information on your Bulldog UAV. And I'll be plugging links and descriptions and information all over the place on how to get to you guys, so you guys get a good crowd for your first unveiling of this new tech.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll
Yep.
see you at the show.
Yep, definitely. I'll make my way over there as soon as I can. So there you have it, guys. Now you have all the information on the Bulldog UAV and where to find them at the Worldwide Expo. So make sure you make your way over to Pavillion D at booth 4208 during the Worldwide Expo in order to check out that awesome Bulldog UAV. And I'll also be putting the website down in the description below. It was, once again, Bulldog, BULLDOG, .ultravance, ULTRAVANCE.com. So make sure you guys check that out for more information on this awesome new piece of technology. So once again, I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. I think it was an interesting episode, and I hope to see all of you at the Worldwide Expo next week. And make sure you come over and find me while I'm walking around for a chance to actually be on the podcast. So yeah, once again, I'd just like to thank all of you for tuning in. I'd like to thank Steve Smith for this great interview, and don't forget, if you ate today, thank a farmer.